Hi everyone, welcome to another production tips video. We're looking at songs from Sunday Songshare Volume 2, my new EP, which is out now everywhere. And I'm sharing some of the things that I learnt while producing this EP, some little tips that you might be able to use in your songs as well. Today we're looking at the song If It's True, which is the third track on the EP, which features my wife Ellie on vocals too. And the tip is this: create your own samples. If It's True is a great example of this. There's a bunch of instruments that I created that are in this song. So here's the Logic session, you're looking at it now. And we're just going to go through and look at a couple of things. The first thing, let's look at Garden. And the song's really about the passage in the Bible where Jesus says, look at the birds, they don't worry, you don't need to worry. And so I thought it'd be great to include some atmosphere of bird song, basically, to kind of get you in the headspace as you arrive at the song on the EP. And so what I did is I just took my phone out into the garden and recorded on voice notes the ambient sound of my garden, and this is it. Just bird song. It's nice, and that sits under the whole track. Also, in a lot of the tracks that I recorded, I intentionally left the windows open in this room while I was recording, so it picked up even more bird song and ambient noise from outside. In addition to that, loads of this percussion stuff is just little samples I've recorded. This whole Foley perk bus is just stuff that I recorded while sat at this desk. You see there's something called table kick. That is literally me punching the table. Here's what it sounds like. You can hear all the birdsong in the background there too. That's cool, isn't it? So that's just me punching the table, and then I also pitched it down to give it a bit more bass lower end. That's what it sounds like together. And then for a snare, there's, here we go, mat tap, which is just this little drinks mat with a lovely picture of me and my brothers, just again hitting it on the table, and it sounds like this. Nice. And I also pitched it up to double it and make it sound a bit different. That's just a rubbish Apple AU pitch, which makes the background noise get raised in pitch too. Hey ho. All adds to the ambience, right? And then finally there's this mat sweep effects, which again is the same mat, me just sliding it along the table. It makes this sound. You can hear those recordings are all super noisy, like there's loads of hiss in the background, there's the sound of birds in the background, but together they sound like this, and I think it sounds pretty nice. So that's the Foley perk bus. A couple of other little samples I recorded myself. St Mary's kit. This is an old kit, drum kit that used to live in our garage in my mum's house that our church donated to us. And so these are all samples that I recorded myself just before we gave the kit away to some family friends. Just me recording myself playing the kick drum once at different velocities, so quiet, louder, loud. For example, in the rides here, you can see there's three rides: ride tap P, double P, and triple P, which is quiet, very quiet, and even quieter. So this is what the St Mary's kit sounds like on its own. And that's fun because no one else has those sounds. Those are my badly recorded drum kit. You'll notice there's a couple other little bits in here too. Something called Clap Coffee and something called Brush Hat. These are samples that I recorded when on holiday with my family. My brother and I ran around one day and recorded a bunch of stuff in the house. So for example, this is a bag of coffee beans that I just shook. It sounds a bit like a clap. Kind of fun. And Brush Hat is just a garden brush being used on a stone floor. Kind of fun, right? So that's that. Again, sounds no one else has. Okay, so the final thing I wanted to share with you is the pianos on this track, which I'm super pleased with. You'll see that there are three pianos here. They're labelled High Church Lane, Chords Church Lane, and Cornerways piano. I grew up in a house that my mum still lives in on a road called Church Lane, and there's a piano in that house which is super old and it's really on its last legs. It's been dying for years, and past 15 years, every time the piano tuners come, he said, oh, it's dropping further below concert pitch, it's on its last legs, it's not going to last much longer. It's still going, it sounds rough, it's out of tune, it's about a tone and a half below concert pitch now. But what I did is I sampled it. I recorded myself playing a bunch of notes on the piano, sort of a fifth apart, went through the cycle of fifths from the bottom right to the top, and I put them into a sampler, and it means that now I can play this piano wherever I go. This is the Church Lane piano. Kind of fun, right? You'll notice it sounds terrible. That's because I recorded it straight into my Mac. So no nice microphones. It's not stereo, it's just mono straight into the inbuilt microphone on my Mac, which means that it's really hissy. It doesn't sound super good on its own. Like, you couldn't write a piano album with this piano. One of the interesting things about it is that there's loads of hiss on every note. So when you stack notes, the hiss doubles. There's so much hiss on that, so it's not super usable, but in the context of this song, which is quite lo-fi, it sounds really nice, I think. And I really love the like romanticness of the fact that this is my piano that I grew up playing, and I can take it wherever I go now, even if it's not a great recording. So there's two parts on that piano. There's the chords, which sounds like this. You hear loads of hiss. There's the sound of the hammers in the piano hitting. There's the chords, and there's a higher melody part. The melody part is doubled on the bridge and beyond by Cornaway's piano. Cornaway's is the name of the house that Ellie grew up in, and I literally just copied the MIDI over. And again, I recorded this in the exact same way, just holding my MacBook over the piano while I played a bunch of notes, inputted them into a sampler. And again, it means that now I can play the Cornaway's piano wherever I go. Arguably, it's a worse recording. Again, very lo-fi, not great sound, but together with the Church Lane piano, it sounds really nice and almost like music boxy. And I quite like the retro lo-fi vibes. It sounds a bit like it's an old piano being played through a gramophone or something, with lots of hiss, lots of noise, but lots of heart too. And so my tip and my encouragement this time is record your own samples. Record the things that you have at hand. They might not be the best quality, they might not be the best sounds, but you can use them in clever ways in your productions, and only you will have those sounds. Every time I hear this, I'm going to be reminded of sitting down and playing the piano in my mum's house. Isn't that a fun, romantic little thing?